So my quick review, just from what I've watched, I want to do another review after I rewatch the entire series again. There are a couple of gripes that I had going into the series, where it was a shonen, I hadn't heard a lot, and generally speaking, whenever I haven't heard about something, I tend to like be surprised, I guess. But this one had like no hype going into it. There wasn't a lot of like whispers that it was gonna be good. There was nothing. I heard nothing about this show. Nothing. Literally nothing. So it came out after the first 3 episodes. I was pretty hooked, I would say. It was a pretty entertaining show. It was good. But there was a certain scene in episode 3, and I made a video about this. There's a speech that he gives after he's already given the same speech like 3 times before. And it's kind of, it feels unnecessary, and it felt completely off from the character that we were like already watching, Kafka. Because he had already like faced his own like weaknesses, I guess, his own downfalls, and he had already acknowledged them, and he was already trying to like surpass them. So it was kind of weird that they would go back to the character that he was before he got his power up. So it was just a really weird concept to me. I just didn't understand it, and I made a huge video. It wasn't actually, no, hold on. I made a small video. It was like a minute long, less than a minute long. But everywhere I posted it, I got a lot of comments on it because people were complaining. They were like, oh, you just got to give it time. And I was like, okay, I gave it time. I read the entire manga. Okay. The scene that they added was completely unnecessary. It did not need to be there. And it took away from Kafka's character overall as a whole. Because from what I've read, from what we've seen, Kafka is basically the end game of his shonen life, essentially. So he's like late game Deku, okay? Basically speaking. He is already there. His mental is already there. He's not thinking about the consequences of like saving a person. He's just saving that person immediately. No questions asked. He's just moving forward, regardless of the situation. Regardless if it's a like 20-foot titan that's in front of him. He's just gonna go forward and try to do whatever he can. The best example that I can show of this is literally the episode before this. Oh, no, 2 episodes before this. In episode 1, when they're confronted with the kaiju, he breaks both of his legs. They're just gone. He can't walk, okay? His friend comes back to save him, and the guy's standing there with the stop sign in front of him, okay? He's behind him on the ground, legs broken. The kaiju is standing right in front of them. Like, he's just this monstrous, like, 15-foot, like, behemoth. Yeah? This is emphasized in both the anime and the manga, okay? Kafka, being completely in this, like, terrible state that he's in, still crawls towards the monster. He still goes forward to try and stop this thing as much as he could. Hello? What? Why are you... Hold on. He can't do anything. But he was more than willing to try to do something. It was crazy. And in the 3rd episode, they have this scene. And okay, I went word for word, by the way. Word for word with the manga. Okay? I did so much studying for these like short couple of manga panels. Okay? Not to prove that I'm right, but to prove that the character wasn't what people wanted it to be. Okay? This doesn't add depth to his character, and it doesn't take away depth from his character. But what they did does. Let me explain. Okay. So he has this scene where he gets busted up again. Okay? He's a helpless like person. He can't really activate his suit. It happens. Cool. It's okay. It's okay. Like, he messes up. It's cool. Okay, I'm gonna mute this just to be safe. He has this scene where he insults other people, and he uses everybody else's like gifts that they have or talents as an excuse to why he's bad. And that is the least Kafka thing to do. Okay? That it's just not how he's wired. He's never worked like that. That's what motivated Mina earlier, whenever they were younger. Kafka didn't care what was in front of him. He just kept moving forward. He didn't care about everybody else's situation. He only cared about what was in front of him, and he always wanted to deal with it himself. He was the one, he wanted to put the burden completely on himself. He didn't care what the other person's position was. He just didn't. It just didn't matter to him. And so this speech was completely off character. It just didn't make sense. Because in the manga, before he can even think, he's already getting up. He's already getting up. He's already ready to go. He said, you think I'm giving up? I'm not even gonna like consider it. It's not even a thought that crossed my mind. he doesn't give an excuse. He tells you, hey, I'm old. I'm gonna get up. I'm just letting you know it's gonna take me a while to get up. It's just crazy. I don't understand. I put it in the best way, in like one of the best ways possible. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Kafka's growth in this scene goes from should I get up to I should get up. Okay? That's what he does in the scene. He's like, should I get up? I'm kind of weak. I'm kind of old. I'm kind of brittle. I'm kind of past my prime. I shouldn't get up. And then he's like, no, but wait. I promised I would. Yeah, I should get up. I should be able to fight through this pain. I should be able to do this. But in the manga, it was completely different. It wasn't a question. He was always just gonna go do it. And instead of saying, I'm gonna do this, he said, I am doing this. That was the whole difference. That is the jump from character. It's not the I should. He doesn't question it to not questioning it. He goes from stating it to demanding it, basically. And it's just like, it's a pretty easy concept. And it took away from his character. Okay, rant over. That being said, we got a scene that isn't in the manga that I really like that they adapted. When he's losing control, he just can't control the kaiju. It's just over. Like, he just can't control it. He thinks it's gonna be over. We get this scene. Where is it? This one. Okay? This one, he's in the water and he sees Mina pulling him up. This is super important because it happens later down in the series. It's super important. It's super good, and I love that they work this in. Okay, I don't mind that they adapt based around the manga itself. I don't mind it. I mind that they change the character. That is my overall gripe with it. I don't mind that they add scenes like this to add depth. Okay, give me some background. It's okay. I understand. It's good. And you need filler content, obviously. You can't just have panels like word for word. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally okay. When you take away from the person's character or that character that they've built up, that's where I have an issue with it. Because that's not the character that's displayed in the manga. It's just not. It's not the same person. It's just not. The outcome may be the same because they have the overall source material that they're working with, but the character is not the same. It'd be like if Deku hesitated every time he tried to go save somebody. That just wouldn't be Deku. That's just not a Deku thing to do. Yeah. The problem is that Kafka motivates people because he's so selfless. Because he's selfish. Because he wants to do everything himself. That's his character development. It's just whenever they change it and they add stuff to diminish his character, it just takes away from like the anime as a whole, and I didn't like that. That being said, I did really enjoy this part. I really like that they worked this in, and this was super important, and I really liked this. This was really good, and overall, this adaptation was pretty damn good. It was really good. I have my gripes with the character designs, but that's a different story altogether. That can be addressed in season 2. It's not like a huge issue. There's just like small details that just the characters look a little bit off compared to the manga, because in the manga they look so much cooler. But that could just be like a style choice. It could be an animation studio choice. It could be a lot of things. I'm not like super big on that. The animation was overall really fluid. The introductions and stuff like that was really good. The soundtrack was really fire. I really liked the overall adaptation of this series. It was a really good adaptation. I really enjoyed it, but I am gonna review it one more time. We're gonna watch it on Friday on stream, and then I'm gonna give my general breakdown of what I think of the series overall one more time, and then we're gonna call it. But overall, I think this was a really good series. From what I remember, it was very entertaining, very good animation, and a generally good adaptation, with some caveats. Yeah, that's what I think of the Kaiju number 8 so far. The manga's fire. The manga is completely fire. It's so good. I'm caught up. It's so good. I enjoy that so much. Their power system is also really cool. It's very unique. And it feels like they have an infinite amount of possibilities that a lot of anime don't have. Because they don't really have to explain their power system. They don't have to have a reasoning for their power system or how their power system works. So that's what gives them like leverage. And them not explaining kind of makes sense in their own world, because they can give their enemies whatever powers that they want without justifying like where they got it from. So like you don't have to have like a specific devil to give them a specific power. It's a pretty cool like power system overall. Yeah, I really like it. I think it has a lot of potential. I don't think it's gonna end anytime soon. I think they still have like too many questions unanswered. I think it's overall a really, really good series. And if you haven't read the manga, I recommend reading it. It's a really good read. It's really fast read too. It's really fast because it's super entertaining. Super, super entertaining. But yeah, it's overall a really, really good series. I highly recommend you watch it. If you haven't already, it's a really good binge. Really, really good binge. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.